All right, how's everyone doing? I'm Rich CELENZA. Thanks for tuning in to the Rich CELENZA Show. WTF are you talking about? So, what I really want to get into today is something I did a video on my YouTube channel. And what I basically called it was learn to try something new every time you work out. And lately on my podcast, I've been posting some things regarding fitness, and it seems like I'm getting a lot of traction, especially on it also my podcast posts on LinkedIn. I post them on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter as well, and even YouTube when it pops up there on my podcast. A lot of people seem to be listening to them on there regarding fitness. So I'm going to do some more fitness related stuff on my podcast. I also finally learned Zoom, so I'm going to start doing interviews very soon. I'm going to start scheduling those. That was what the whole intention of this podcast was supposed to be originally, but then I started to do different things and experiment and just lost track of time and wanted to just get all these other subjects that I wanted to clarify out of my head to try and help people as well. So hopefully I didn't bore you to death if you listen to my show. But definitely people in the future, I'm going to be interviewing a lot of different people in the future regarding many different things. That goes for people in the entertainment business. That goes for people that are involved in fitness and everything in between. But today, what I really want to get into was, like I was saying, is learning to try something new every time you work out, and also kind of being open-minded when working out. And this goes for if you work out in a gym. This can even go if, whatever you're doing. I don't care if you go cycling. I don't care if you're a runner. I don't care if you're a bodybuilder, power lifter, you do CrossFit, you do yoga, you do Pilates. A lot of people don't realize that all these different types of things you could be doing before the workout, preparing for it, while you're working out, in the middle of the workout, after the workout, and so on. So I'm going to use, for instance, a lot of times when I'm talking about the gym and working out with weights, because that's what I do. But again, when I'm talking about this, no matter what you do, you can, I think, try something new every time you've worked out. And what I've done actually over the last probably 20 years is mastering doing a different workout every time I go and work out. So when I first started working out when I was very young, even in my teens, I just got caught up doing the same stuff over and over and over again for years. And it gave me some great results. And then I realized after a while, I plateaued like a lot of people. I may have been getting stronger, but I just wasn't evolving the way I wanted to. I realized I wasn't getting as sore as I used to. I realized I just wasn't getting the results that I once was getting. And I was pushing myself harder and harder doing the same thing over again. It just became like, I think my muscles just adapted. It became a routine. Like anything else in life, once you keep doing, the first time you do it, or the first few times, or the first whatever, it's new, and, it affects you differently. And as time goes on, it just becomes routine. I'm sure you realize that in the workplace, or whatever you've done in your life. It may have started off very complicated, and then after a long period of time, or a certain amount of time, it was no big deal. And I think our bodies kind of go through that as well. So what I started to do was just really start studying all different types of guys' workouts. Back then it was mainly magazines driven, and I did a YouTube channel if you want to check that out, learning how to read a lot about working out, not just watching YouTube videos. Because I don't think a lot of people read about fitness anymore like they used to. I think they read about nutrition and things like that. But as far as, working out, I think a lot of young people, including me, and older, middle-aged, are watching videos. But I think a lot of times when we're watching a video, it's almost like entertainment. We're kind of watching all these different sequences or what they're doing, and then when we're done, we forgot 99% of what they did. But for me, when I read about people's workouts, and then I actually see what they, in writing what they're doing, as far as sets, reps, different types of equipment they're using, it really burns into my brain. So if you are working out, or if you're a beginner or even advanced and you haven't been reading a lot, you may want to go back to that. Which reminds me, I did a video too on YouTube called Going Back to the Basics. I did it in Santa Barbara. regarding sometimes, even if you've been working out for numerous amounts of years and you kind of hit, the wall a little bit, and, you just get bored sometimes, or you're not getting, again, the results you desire. Sometimes you got to go back to where you started, I think, because, we've all evolved and things have changed over the years regarding working out. The gyms have changed. The equipment has changed. Everything has really changed for the most part if you really look at a lot of different types of workouts. That doesn't mean you changed. And of course, there's still core workouts and core type of things we do, which could be like squatting, deadlifting, bench pressing, all these type of things. But I'm talking going back to the basics of just across the board, just maybe just doing what you did when you first started. And just trying to, just try to switch things up. But let me go back now to trying something new every time you work out. So what I first started to do was try different guys' workouts for months at a time. I just fell into their routines and tried them. And that goes way back to even the days of Rich Kaspari, Lee Haney. I even was doing Arnold Franco type of workouts. And then after the Kaspari Haney thing, I liked Mike Mentzer stuff, Dorian. I even like Sergio Oliva stuff way back now that I think about it. And then I was jumping on these strongman guys, these powerlifters, their workouts, because there used to be a powerlifting magazine. Not sure if it's out there. But most of my information came from Flex or Muscle and Fitness back then. And whatever magazine I could get a hold of, because we didn't have YouTube, obviously, but we had ESPN. They didn't show a lot of people working out back then. And the only time you really saw people working out was when they, like a documentary, or maybe Body by Jake in the 80s. Let me grab some water here. So, anyways, I was doing Dorian's workouts, and, I would incorporate all these different guys' workouts that some I didn't even know. Some were, professional bodybuilders, and some weren't. I would incorporate also in the gym. There were some professional wrestlers there, and some powerlifters. Critically acclaimed, world renowned, and I'd work out with these guys, and I would pick up bits and pieces from them. Being in Florida, and then I go to California sometimes, I was fortunate enough to legitimately be around a lot of pros, and it was amazing. And what I really realized is the more I mixed it up, the more interested I was, and the better the results I got for me. Now, that doesn't mean this is for everybody. I even had to go a step further because I got so burnt out or bored with going to the same gym after a while. I had to be a member of 2 gyms. So for many years, I was a member of, say, Gold's and World's gyms, and then like a Pumping Iron. And then I would be a member of, say, now LA Fitness and 24 Hour Fitness. And I even, when I travel, I try to find independent gyms. And I'll even go on Lifetime Fitness, Good Life Fitness. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of Planet Fitness, but of course, if I need to go in there, and I go to hotel gyms, I love a different scenery. Even though a lot of times the equipment is the same. It's going to be, like most gyms, especially if you go into brands like 24 Hour Fitness, Lifetime, LA Fitness. A lot of the stuff they're carrying is the same. But a lot of times if you find old school vintage gyms, which I love to find, they have some old stuff and it's just maybe more hardcore. I went to a real hardcore gym in Alaska not long ago. Texas powerlifting gym. I loved it. And I love going to independent gyms and doing videos on them as well. But again, trying something new, I kept taking it to another level. So not only was I trying different people's workouts, I had to try it in different gyms. And before you know it, I was just, I don't know what I would call myself. I used to be, this sounds crazy, but I used to see these guys. I used to love following surfers, not even pro surfers, just guys that just were unbelievable surfers when I lived in Florida when I was younger. And then I lived in San Diego for a while as well. And like those dudes, this may sound corny as hell, they almost become one with the ocean, right? And every wave is a different wave. Every day is a different day. Everything is different when you go surf. It's never going to be the same, I believe, for the most part. Like I said, the weather's different. Just everything's different every time you go, I think. Of course, the ocean's there and there's waves, but the way they're coming in is different. Sometimes they're choppy, sometimes they're big, sometimes they're smaller. You just never know what you're going to get. And I kind of wanted that feeling when I went into a gym. I almost wanted to just become one with like the gym and kind of just take it in, as every time I walked in there, it was a new event. It was a new something to experiment with. Instead of just like I see a lot of people just going in and it becomes a routine. Now, routines work for people. If you're more routine driven, God bless. Militant, kind of more style, cut and dry. You go in there, you know what you got to do. You knock it out and leave. And I can do that as well. I do that with a lot of swimming after my workouts. My cardio, a lot of times when I do cardio, kind of militant to a certain degree, or it's kind of cut and dry. But when it comes to weightlifting or doing a lot of other things, and it can even be cycling, when I would go mountain cycling with my cousin in San Diego, I love taking different routes every time. Some days we'd go on the beach, sometimes we're in the mountains, sometimes we're just on the street. You know, it just varied. And I just always wanted to experiment. And even when I was playing sports a lot of times, I realized I played so many different types of sports that I always was looking at it, trying to figure out a way on how to improve. But I think sometimes I would do things that would set me back, because I always was weightlifting. And then if I had a lot of running sports, so if I was playing even football, soccer, basketball, hypothetically, whatever I was playing at that time, my legs were always sore, my arms were sore, because I really started lifting weights at about 5 years old and took it serious from about maybe 12, 13, I don't know. But nonetheless, I was always experimenting. I was always playing like two sports at a time instead of just kind of focusing in on one, because I just always wanted to be experimenting, trying different things like I was saying. But back to, if you're working out, just start slow, I tell people, and every time you go in, just try something new each time. And the reason being is, a lot of times people don't realize that, you know, you're missing out on so much because you've either been taught by a trainer a certain way on how to work out, or a partner you've worked out, or you've watched videos, or you may have read, but you kind of get in a rut where you only know what you know, right? It'd be like only going to kindergarten, or only going to first grade, hypothetically, or second grade. You went to different grades, and each grade you were learning a lot of different things, and that's how I think people should look at fitness. Hold on, let me get some more water. When going in a gym or working out in general, like I said, it could be anything. Try something new. Either while you're there, you could try a different stretching. If you stretched before, I'll just use, for instance, lifting weights. You could try different equipment. You could try doing something, a different amount of sets, a different amount of reps. You can try different body parts. So say a lot of times you're kind of caught where you only do chest and tries. You might want to try chest and buys. You may want to try chest and back, split it up. Maybe you're a guy who only does back and buys, which I wouldn't recommend, but you may want to do back and traps. You may just want to do back and say forearms, hypothetically, throw in there. Or just say you want to go in there and do shoulders and back. Or you go in and do chest and buys instead of tries. I'm just using some of these for an example, but learn to mix it up and not get insecure, because I think what happens with a lot of people is when they start working out for long periods of time, they started to get results. But then as time goes on, they plateau. They're afraid to experiment because they're afraid they're going to lose what they already have. And I'm going to tell you that's most likely not going to happen. What's going to happen is the more you experiment, the more you're going to start building muscles, at least as far as lifting weights. You're going to start hitting all areas of your body that may have never been hit before. And that goes for cardio as well. If you're doing, something where I see tons of people come in, they may do the treadmill, they may do the Stairmaster, they may do the elliptical, they may walk, whatever the case may be. Throw different things in there. You may want to throw a little crew in there, right? You may want to do some sprints before you go, do a treadmill, or do a treadmill only half the amount of time, or run half the amount and then do some sprints. You may want to do lunges. You may want to start incorporating jumping into your workouts. You may want to incorporate, like I talk about, swimming into your workouts if you don't swim. You may want to incorporate a steam, a sauna after your workout if you've never done that. The list goes on and on and on. And it's not just about the workout, right? The workout's kind of a workout, which is, an hour and a half for the average person. When you leave your workout, what do? A lot of people are kind of caught in a routine. They run home, they got to get dinner ready, blah, blah, blah. Or before you work out, you may be, you had to go to work or this or that. You may want to drink something that may make you feel better before, after. That could be, whatever it is. Or after you're done working out, you may want to take a walk. Or before you're getting ready to work out, you may want to take a walk. Or before you work out, you may want to try to swim to loosen up and then work out. If that doesn't work, you may want to work out and swim afterwards. But all these different things, the more you start experimenting, the more you're going to start figuring out what really works and doesn't work. Because I think, again, a lot of people get caught doing something consistently over and over again. They don't realize how many things they're missing out on, is what I should say as well. Especially now more than ever. If you belong to a mainstream gym, like we were just discussing, LA Fitness, 24 Hour Fitness, Lifetime, or whatever plan, there is so much equipment in there. And there are so many different ways you can attack that equipment. And there's so many different things you can do with that. You can even do double drop sets, learning about that. You could do giant sets, right? You can do, I'll just give you an example of some weird things that I do. And so say bench. Sometimes when I go bench, a lot of people go in, I do a 5-minute bicycle warm-up. Or I'll walk for 5 minutes. Maybe I'll do a treadmill. Elliptical. Maybe I'll do crew. Again, I'm always switching it up. Maybe I'll walk. Whatever I feel like doing, I do. Then I go in and I warm my shoulders up. I first actually stretch my entire body. I should have said that first. Then I usually do something for 5 minutes to get, my blood flow going. Then I warm my shoulders up, because I've had shoulder issues, and then I go warm my entire upper body unless I'm doing legs. So I'll warm up a chest, tri, bi, shoulder, back, just to warm up. But say it's a chest day. Sometimes I'll go in, maybe like usual, and do, say, 3 flat bench, and then you do a couple 2 or 3 incline, maybe some flies or some dumbbell flies, some maybe crossovers, whatever the case may be, and then jump on the tries. But then some days I'll go in there and hit 10 different pieces of equipment with chest. So I'll do a flat, 1 incline, 1 dumbbell, 1 fly, 1 incline machine, hammer strength, 1 decline maybe, 1 a push-up, a routine, dips. There's all, I'll just do something crazy like that. And what's so interesting is just doing something like that, how sore I would get. Because each time I was hitting a different piece of equipment or hitting a different type of set, my body was like, what the hell are you doing here? Normally we just do 2 or 3 of this, and then 2 or 3 of this, and then 2 and 3 of this. And then the next time I come in, I may do something where it's all dumbbells, right? Then the next time I come in, it may be all machines. And the next time I come in, who the hell knows? I'm incorporating all these different types of things. And that's what I'm trying to tell you is try different stuff. Don't be afraid of it. I don't want to get redundant, but I just gave you some examples. And that can be, even if you're a runner, like I tell a lot of people have a path that they run. You may walk out of your house and then take off, right? Or you may go on a treadmill. Again, you may want to try, again, if you're doing a treadmill, different heights, right? You want to try that. And then also, if you're on the street, if you're a runner there, take a different path every time. You may want to incorporate going up hills. Again, you may want to be doing sprints. You may want to incorporate different things while you're running, different types of workouts. You may want to grab some weights and run with them. All these different types of things you can experiment with. You could run sometimes on grass. You may want to go to the beach, run in the sand. You may want to run in water one day. You may want to run, wherever. In a city one day, which I wouldn't recommend, but a lot of people like that urban environment. Instead of just running out of your house if you're in the suburbs, going to different places to run, to experiment. Not just going to a gym and just running on a treadmill a lot of times. Maybe running backwards, running from side to side. And that's what I do in the pool for so many years I was swimming and I got bored with it like everybody else. Plus on top of the regular stroke on top of the water, regular style swimming, I just got exhausted with it. So I started to do underwater, a lot of underwater swimming. I love the resistance. I got that actually off Bobby Fischer. I'd watched documentaries on him and he did this breathing type technique and he loves swimming underwater. And then I saw the skater, what is her name? The Olympic skater. I think she took the silver, the bronze, but Tanya Harding hit her in the leg, or had her hit in the leg with a pipe. I forgot the woman's woman. I can't believe it. Anyway, I saw a documentary, and then when she wanted to recover, they did all these different types of things in the water with her because she needed the buoyancy because her leg was rocked, but they still wanted to keep her balance and her strength. So I seen some things she was doing, and then it hit me, and then I started to experiment and try all these different types of exercises in the water besides just swimming. So I do lunges in the water. I run in the water. I jog in the water. Then I'll sprint in the water, front and back. I do side to sides. I do all these different types of things in the water, and it has been amazing because, one, it keeps the interest going. And I'm afraid of the ocean, I'll be honest with you, so I don't swim in the ocean. I'll swim in a lake and, wave pools because I live in Orlando, Florida. But if I didn't see that or experiment, I would never realize, I would never experience that. And also, I do a lot of stretching in the water, which is unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you, if you're older and you're having problems working out, if your joints hurt or you're just whatever, you're beat up a little bit, just start off with swimming. The buoyancy is unbelievable. It's going to take a lot of that pressure off your knees, your ankles, your lower back. And it's also, I think, for me, stretching in there just made me more and more and more flexible. And it just helps burn calories. It helps me sleep at night. It's just great for your breathing. If I would tell anyone to do anything or make sure you try to incorporate into your workouts is swimming. They even have those they have classes that you could do where they water weights and things in that nature if you're older, younger, whatever the case may be. I used to goof around and make fun of them a little bit. But hey, whatever works. You know what I mean? I just meant, I was just goofing around when I would say that type of stuff on social media and stuff. But any workout's a good workout. So I am going to wrap it up there. If you have any questions regarding working out or whatever, please comment. Also, check out my YouTube channels. I've been putting up tons of new things. And it's not just, I'm not putting tons of videos of me working out. I did some of those just to show that, you're legit and you do work out and you're in a certain type of shape. But I'm usually having discussions a lot of times on trying to help people with questions that I went throughout my life on what to do. And I just did one called, actually I haven't posted it yet. It's like learn to train like an animal when going to the gym. The intensity I always talk about when going to the gym. It's not about how many sets you do, how many reps. It's the intensity that you bring to each and every workout. That's what counts. But yeah, just all these different subjects I've been going through on YouTube trying to help people regarding fitness because I've been doing it so long. So you might want to check that out, definitely. It's just my name, Rich CELENZA. You can go to my website, richcelenza.com. Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as well. What else do I got going? Yeah, and you could go to I have a Mastering Self-Confidence program out there. You could find that on my website as well. All right. Well, take care, and if you're traveling, safe travels.